All right, 7:15, welcome back. After the harsh winter we had, many of us are looking forward to the heat of the summer. But as soon as the heat does arrive, we will be looking for ways to keep cool. It's really a vicious cycle. But you also have to think about your pet, specifically your dog, to make sure they are not overcome by the warmer temperatures. And joining us this morning to talk all about it, Richard and Vicki Horowitz from Bark Busters, our resident experts when it comes to everything with dogs. So the first thing, dogs can suffer from the same heat-related ailments that we can, and people may not realize that. What are some of those ailments?
Well, they can get overheated, they can get lethargic, they can get heat exhaustion, so you have to make sure they always have access to plenty of water.
Right.
We suggest when it's really warm to put ice cubes in their bowls versus water so that it will take longer to melt and therefore it will keep them cooler, or put ice in their water.
Now, what are some of the signs that a dog may be suffering from some of these things? The heat exhaustion and all that.
Well, they might start panting, they become lethargic, like Vicki said. But when they're in a pool, you really want to be sensitive to they're getting tired or overheated. Dogs don't have the same response that we do. If we get tired, we lay down, we sit down, we do whatever.
Or we just try to get out of the water. I mean, they will keep going unless if somebody doesn't recognize the signs of them getting overly exhausted, they will just stay in the water, and that's how drownings can happen. That's one of the reasons drownings can happen. So it's very important that you always monitor your dog in the water, as well as teaching them how to get in and out of a pool.
Sometimes people say, oh, I have a fence around my pool, I don't have to worry about it. Well, you do have to worry because there's tendencies for people to leave a gate open and all of a sudden the dog wanders in, ends up in the pool. So we tell people, train your dog, put them in the pool gently and guide them to the steers using a long leash. Okay, guide them to the steers or an access lower and shallow end of the pool so they know how to get in and out of the pool.
And you have to practice with dogs regularly. People say, yeah, I showed them once. No, dogs need to learn by repetition, so that you do it for a few times of putting them in the pool and then guiding him out, and then you actually have to practice it a number of times, and then you transition to other parts of the pool where you may start at the shallow end, then you have to go to the deep end, and you have to guide him actually on a long lead to show him how to get out of the pool.
Because people, I think, sometimes think that the dog just inherently knows how to get in and out of the water, and this is important here in this case, as you're saying, people need to train the dog to become familiarized.
That's correct, especially if it's a pool. When it's at the beach or a lake, they instinctively know how to get out because that's how they came in.
They turn around and they instinctively go back the way they came in, but that doesn't always work in a pool, which could have different access points.
So be very careful with the pool and train the dog to get in and out of the pool. Right. And I would imagine don't allow them to go in if no one is around.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Right.
They need to be supervised
because we sometimes think that they just inherently always belong in the water, especially if it's a lab or a type like that.
Right.
Now, are there any types of dogs that should not be going in the pool?
I think you have to go by your dog's personality.
Right.
If you have a dog that every time he goes near the pool, he backs up and he's very skittish, then you don't want to put him in a pool. We have heard of people who will just take their dogs and toss them in the pool. If a dog doesn't want to be in there, then you need to honor that. They may not just like water, or they just may not be comfortable there, so you don't force a dog in the water.
And are there any signs that a dog has had any sort of issue in a pool or from the heat that somebody would say, I need to call the vet or call somebody? Any tall tale signs to look out for?
Just watch for exhaustion or a very lethargic dog. And again, if they're tired, get them out of the pool. All right. We know to get out. A dog doesn't know to get out.
Exactly.
Right. The other thing just to watch out for is if your dog is in the pool and there's chlorine or he's in salt water, you should always rinse off your dogs after you get out of the water. They get out of the water to get off any debris, any mites any critters or anything that could be on them.
So a lot of stuff to pay attention to. As I mentioned, as we head through the summer, we always got to think about our pets.
Right.
Absolutely.
And just remember this time of year, don't leave your dog in the car or any pet in the car.
Or tied up to a tree outside in the blaring sun when we're going to be having 90-degree days.
Absolutely.
All right, Richard and Vicki, a lot of great information. Thank you so much. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. And of course, for more information on everything we just talked about, all you have to do is head on over to our website, WTNH.com.